Good morning and welcome. I'm Pooja Shali. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has reached Varanasi, his constituency, and importantly, it is a big day because remember, there will not only be just inaugurations, but it will also be reaching out to the public there in his constituency. This is going to be a very crucial visit. He's already reached, and the visuals there on your screens as well. Paulomi Saha is now joining us live. Paulomi, how crucial should this visit be considered? Because is it just about inaugurating a building, so to say, or is it definitely much more about reaching out to the public there in his constituency? Over to you.
Pooja, there's obviously not just one building. He is inaugurating several projects over here. I'm, of course, standing in front of the highlight. The highlight is right behind me, which is Rudraksha, which is the Varanasi International Cooperation and Convention Center, which he will be inaugurating after he leaves from BHU, where he is right now, where he is inaugurating several other projects, including a maternal and child health unit at the BHU, the Crore ferry service on the River Ganga. Then, of course, there is the 3-lane flyover bridge on the Varanasi-Gazipur highway as well, multi-storied parking. So several projects that were in fact initiated during his tenure over here being inaugurated now. Right ahead of the UP Assembly Elections. So many are, of course, tying the significance of the Prime Minister's visit to his home constituency to the fact that UP faces an election in 2022, one of the most crucial elections among the 5 states that will go to polls in the first phase of the next year. And it is going to be extremely crucial for the Bharatiya Janata Party, coming that it is off the back of the COVID pandemic, and the government's assessment of that COVID pandemic is going to be crucial to how the voter goes out to cast their ballot. So today, when the Prime Minister is here, he's also going to be interacting. Like I said, he'll go to that maternal and child health unit at the BHU. While he inspects that unit, he will also be interacting with health professionals, medical professionals at BHU in order to get a sense of his constituency and Varanasi's preparedness as far as the COVID-19 pandemic is concerned, because it's going to be very crucial. This region is going to be very crucial. Purvanchal accounts for 33% of the seats in the Uttar Pradesh Legislative Assembly of 403. So it's going to be extremely crucial for the Bharatiya Janata Party to secure this region as far as the elections are concerned. And it is going to be extremely significant to see how the Prime Minister, of course, via the inauguration of all of these development projects, kickstarts the BJP's campaign for Uttar Pradesh 2022.
Because Paulomi is on the ground, she's assessing the mood also on the ground. It's very interesting because over the past few years, he's made a few visits to his constituency and tried to reflect that he's ensuring that there's development done. Tell us more about the projects that he will be inaugurating today. You're talking also about how he's going to focus on the maternal and children health, and that is why that project is going to be very crucial. Also, Rudraksha, the name very interesting in so many ways. Tell us more about that project as well, because each of these projects, Paulomi, would have been well thought out in some ways connected to the election strategy as well.
Well, these are basically lots of various different things that he is, of course, inaugurating today. Like I said, while there is a maternal and child health unit at the BHU, there is the Crore ferry service on the River Ganga. There is a flyover which he is inaugurating as well. Several projects which are close to about 744 crores in worth. This project, which is right behind me, the Rudraksha, which is the Varanasi International Cooperation and Convention Center, has cost the government about 186 crores. It is a convention center which is intended to host international conferences, exhibitions, and even music concerts. This convention center has been built using Japanese expertise and Japanese skills. So there will be a little bit of an exhibition of sorts, we believe, inside, which depicts Indo-Japanese culture. The foundation for this was in fact laid when former Prime Minister of Japan Shinzo Abe visited the city of Varanasi with Prime Minister Narendra Modi in December 2015, and that is when Japan came on board in order to build this convention center, which is a 1200-seater, and like I said, is aimed at holding international conferences. It has been built in such a way with lots of parking for close to about 120 cars inside this facility itself, so that it can boost tourism in Varanasi, and Varanasi becomes a destination of choice as well for these mega events and international conferences.
Paulomi, stay on with me. Paulomi is on the ground, and behind her we can see all the preparations that have been put in place. The Prime Minister already reaching at the airport. He's being received by Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. But many, of course, are talking about the variety of projects that Prime Minister is inaugurating. Let me now bring you up to speed. What are those projects? Very interesting. He's going to start with inaugurating a 100-bed mother and child unit, a wing at the Banaras Hindu University. Very crucial, taking forward the maternity health and children health as well in his constituency of Varanasi. There's also a multi-level parking that's going to come up in Godalia. Remember, this area, the Varanasi situation specifically with regard to near the temple premises, can get very crowded and congested. There are very narrow bylanes. The Ro-Ro vessels for tourism on the Ganga, of course, in the past few months, specifically via the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister and PM, there's been a focus on tourism, cultural tourism, religious tourism to be promoted in Uttar Pradesh. 3-lane flyover on Varanasi-Ghazipur highway as well is going to be inaugurated. And then the Center for Skill and Tech Support at CIPET. I also remember just a few years ago, Prime Minister himself reaching out on Women's Day in Varanasi, trying to reach out to the women folk and their skill projects. 143 rural projects under the Jal Jeevan mission as well. Now, this is one by one going to be a part of the itinerary of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Mango, vegetable integrated pack house as well. So there are going to be different projects that are in the pipeline. And Paulomi, I want to come back to you for that because you're on the ground. Prime Minister has been received by Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. There are other senior dignitaries as well. What do you think could be the highlight of this itinerary? Also, are we expecting at any point an address by the Prime Minister today?
That's right. He is likely to speak at the BHU. He is also likely to make a short address at the opening of the Rudraksha Convention Center as well. He's spending about 5 hours in Varanasi today. He's expected to possibly wrap up around 3:30 p.m. this afternoon. He will be at BHU. He will inaugurate those projects. He will come to the Rudraksha Convention Center, which is located in Sigra, which is a very posh area of Varanasi. And from Sigra, he will go back to the BHU to inspect that maternal and child health unit, which he will be inaugurating, and of course interacting, like I said, with medical professionals in Varanasi at the premises in BHU in order to understand his constituency's COVID-19 preparedness, after which he will depart for Delhi. So he's got a very packed chock-a-block schedule. Projects close to about 744 crores that he will be inaugurating, and laying the foundation stone for another 839 crores worth of projects. So a huge bonanza for Varanasi, for his parliamentary constituency that he's visiting after a long time. In the middle of this pandemic, he'd had a virtual interaction with, of course, officials and some citizens of Varanasi in order to understand the pandemic situation over here, what was being done on the ground, what possibly lacked on the ground and could be fixed. And since then, this is the first time that he's coming to his parliamentary constituency. But like I said, this visit is not just significant for the kind of big hamper that the Prime Minister brings along with him. It is also very significant in the way that it is being seen as the BJP blowing the bugle for the Uttar Pradesh elections of 2022.
Also, Paulomi, for the benefit of our viewers, do take us through the journey of Varanasi as a constituency that is now being led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because people of Varanasi were definitely very eager and excited to have Narendra Modi contesting from Varanasi, the manner in which he gave up his other constituency to retain Varanasi. And since then, specifically around the temple areas, there have been this controversial construction that did take place, and whether it was right or not, all of that do take us through as Prime Minister arrives in the constituency today morning.
Right, Pooja, I mean, the constituency of Varanasi has seen a sea change since 2014 when Prime Minister Narendra Modi contested from this constituency. At that time, this was only the second seat. He was contesting from two seats at that point of time, from Gujarat and from Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh. And eventually, when he won from both, he chose to give up the seat in Gujarat and continue on as the Member of Parliament from the seat of Varanasi, which he again contested from in 2019 as well. Varanasi has seen a lot in terms of changes which have come in because of the high-profile Member of Parliament who is representing this constituency none less than the Prime Minister of the country himself. But obviously, like I said, it has had its own share of ups and downs because this is a city which needed a lot in terms of transformation, in terms of illegal construction that was happening, in terms of high-power tension wires that you would see crisscrossing across this entire city. This is a city which had a potential to develop itself as a tourist hub, as a pilgrimage hub, but a lot of that has received a fillip and a boost since, of course, Prime Minister Modi started representing this constituency in terms of, constructing the roads in a better way, in terms of ensuring I mean, obviously, this is not just coming from the perspective of the Member of Parliament, but obviously a lot of attention being paid since by the Bharatiya Janata Party that came to power over here in the state of Uttar Pradesh in 2017. And the government obviously paying all of that attention to this high-profile constituency in terms of cleaning up the ghats, making them more accessible, ensuring that, like you mentioned, the congestion of the by-lanes and the roads of Varanasi, especially those leading up to the temples over here, which are a huge draw as far as pilgrimage is concerned, clearing that up as well. And it appears that Varanasi continues to get many of those bonanzas and developmental projects by virtue of the Prime Minister representing this constituency. But obviously, this time round, you're seeing those inaugurations happen at a very crucial time because the BJP is going into what is not going to be an easy election for the party. It is not going to be a cakewalk for the party. It is going into a contest. Obviously, it depends on the opposition mounting a contest as well. But it does realize, given the past Panchayat election results, which happened simultaneously with the Assembly elections in the months of April and May, that it faces a challenge going into the Assembly elections in early 2022.
Paulomi, now can I ask you if possible to show us the situation behind you? I see some heightened activity. It appears people are expecting the Prime Minister to arrive anytime soon. When are we expecting really? What is the time of arrival there at your location? I can see the area has been completely decked up. If possible for you, I understand there would be a media contingent there. If possible, to show us precisely the situation behind you. Paulomi.
That's right. It is a little restricted in the movement that we can obviously, access over here because obviously the Prime Minister is coming and they have restricted access. But Himanshu, my camera person, is obviously going to try and show you the convention center behind us. It's just on the other side of this barricading, as you can see right now. This is the convention center, the Rudraksha International Cooperation and Convention Center in Varanasi, which is expected to be inaugurated by the Prime Minister at 12 this afternoon. Like I said, it is a two-storied convention center. The top of it is, in fact, the roof of it is shaped like a shivling. It has 108 Rudrakshas installed inside this convention center. Rudraksha being, of course, the prayer bead that is used in Hinduism, and that is what this is named after, this convention center. It has a seating capacity of about 1,200, a massive meeting hall which can be divided into smaller segments if you want to have smaller meetings and conventions as well. It has three different entrances over here, a regular entrance, a service entrance, and a VIP entrance as well. It has, like I said earlier as well, been built with Japanese expertise and technology in mind. It has been made in an environmental friendly way. It has a parking capacity of about 120 cars inside here, 186 crores which have been spent between 2015 and now in order to build this structure, which I said earlier was going to be, of course, the highlight.
Paulomi, just stay on there. I'll give you a brief breather because we are just getting information that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has arrived at the Banaras Hindu University. That is where the maternal and child health unit is being inaugurated in just a short while. Very crucial, very important for the people of Varanasi to know that Prime Minister himself is pushing forward for the maternal and child health as a priority. We have some live visuals there on your screen as well. He has arrived in Varanasi, received a welcome from Chief Minister of the state, Yogi Adityanath. And the cavalcade there of Prime Minister has arrived. We can see he's sitting inside the car right now. And in just a short while, perhaps in the next few seconds, Prime Minister will be walking out. Very crucial. And also remember what we are being told consistently.
बड़े स्तर तक के निर्णय लेना, विकास योजनाओं को लागू करवाना, उनकी निगरानी करना, उन्हें उद्घाटन तक भी पहुंचाना
is that the manner in which the bonanza also is being given to the people of Varanasi, and each of these projects we have been told that is in crores, and that there are these different projects that have been announced, and this time with regard to Varanasi, the people of the constituency of the Prime Minister are said to receive these huge hampers. In fact, the projects are about 1,500 crore rupees, and the first, as we can see again, he's being received by people at the Banaras Hindu University. The schedule will be that at the Institute of Medical Sciences of the BHU is his first stop, and from there he's going to head out to the IIT grounds. There will be development schemes again there, and then after that there is going to be next visit to the Rudraksha Convention Center, where Paulomi Saha is currently all set to tell us when he arrives and the mood on the ground as well.
या फिर यहाँ पे मेडिकल हो ताकि आसपास के पूर्वांचल के क्षेत्र के लोगों को स्वास्थ्य सुविधाएं हो सकें। 2014 के बाद भी हमने देखा प्रधानमंत्री ने सुपर स्पेशलिटी हॉस्पिटल का भी उद्घाटन किया, उनका भी शिलान्यास किया गया। ये सब कदम जो उठाए गए हैं उन्हीं के साथ जोड़ा गया है कि कोविड।
Paulomi Saha is there at the Rudraksha Convention Center. Paulomi, first quickly, because he's at the BHU, he's going to meet, it appears, some of the senior dignitaries of the university as well. And BHU is a historic, prestigious university there in Varanasi. It is globally renowned as well. But specific agenda for the BHU will be what? Paulomi.
Well, at that premises, he is obviously, like I said, he's going to inaugurate several projects. So he's at one premises right now in order to inaugurate those projects from the schedule which has been made available to us from the Prime Minister's office. He is going to inaugurate the maternal child health and child health unit at the BHU, which is a 100-bed capacity unit, which will be inaugurated right now. But we believe that eventually, after opening and inaugurating the Rudraksha Convention Center, he will go back to BHU. He will inspect that unit physically and, of course, speak to medical professionals over there before calling it a day on his visit to Varanasi. But at the campus right now, he's going to inaugurate several projects. Obviously, he cannot physically visit every site because there is a parking lot. There is, of course, the Crore ferry service on the River Ganga. There is, of course, there are other projects like the flyover on the Varanasi-Ghazipur highway as well, which he is inaugurating. There are several projects which he is currently, in fact, inaugurating. He's going to inaugurate in moments from now. And then, of course, he's likely to address the gathering at the BHU today as well. He will speak to them before, of course, he makes his way to the Rudraksha Convention Center, where I'm standing right now, in order to inaugurate this facility, which has been built in less than about 6 years' time, from 2015, when the foundation stone was laid in December, when former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was visiting the holy city of Varanasi with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, to today, of course, in the month of July in 2021, when it will finally be inaugurated and shown open to the public. In fact, a lot of people, Pooja, were here yesterday because access was not difficult until last evening, and they could go up to the convention center, which was lit up with LED lights in the evening, as it's going to be eventually after the sun sets. They were quite very excited to see such a huge swanky looking facility in Varanasi, hoping that the doors open soon and they are able to go inside as well and possibly enjoy concerts and various kinds of cultural events. This is going to be a cultural and social hub of sorts in Varanasi, a landmark that the government of Uttar Pradesh hopes it becomes in the city of Varanasi. Pooja?
Isn't it interesting also, Paulomi, while on one hand we are talking about, and we can see Prime Minister sitting on the stage with the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister, and there are other dignitaries as well. We will just in a short while confirm who else is also sitting with the Prime Minister. And I can see the stage is set. This is a 100-bed maternity and child health wing at the Institute of Medical Sciences in the Banaras Hindu University. So remember, this is the first step in the itinerary today for the Prime Minister, therefore also attempting to perhaps reflect the manner in which the health concerns of women and children are very important to the Prime Minister, because if it is the first stop for the Prime Minister's itinerary and at the BHU, of course there are different symbolic messages also that the Prime Minister is attempting to reflect there. But Paulomi, I was also thinking about the manner in which the Rudraksha Convention Centre, that's the highlight of today's itinerary, that will be sort of almost at the last, and you'll be there to tell us all about it. But the manner in which they have named it Rudraksha, a prayer bead in Hinduism, in Shaivism, so that name also is going to be very interesting, isn't it, Paulomi?
अपने स्थान पर बैठ जाएं।
Well, this is obviously a holy town, Pooja. This is a city of pilgrimage. This is the significance of the city of Varanasi. And that's exactly why the name has been chosen, keeping in line with faith, keeping in line with, of course, Hinduism, the religion itself. Hence the name Rudraksha. We believe that the Prime Minister will, in fact, be planting a sapling of the Rudraksha as well over here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera right now, but there are Rudraksha-like beads, which is part of the decor of this complex itself, which has been
Paulomi, we can see it, yes,
over the circular portion, which is at the top. Like I said, the roof. Yeah, the roof itself, Pooja, is in fact shaped like a shivling. So this in itself has a very sort of a religious aspect to it. It has a very cultural, it has a lot of, the aspect is to do with faith itself and the significance of the city of Varanasi. Interestingly, of course, the Japanese expertise has been used to build this massive convention center over here. But this is, of course, one of the big bonanzas that the Prime Minister, in fact, brings to the city of Varanasi along with him today. This is only waiting to be inaugurated in a short while from now, Pooja.
And total of 1,500 crore rupees of bonanza that is being given. Chief Minister of the state is speaking. Let's listen in. Paulomi, stay on.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सभी प्रदेश के पदाधिकारीगण, जिला और महानगर के पदाधिकारीगण और उपस्थित सभी भाइयों बहनों, बाबा विश्वनाथ की इस पावन धरती पर काशी के लोकप्रिय सांसद, देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी का मैं प्रदेश वासियों की ओर से और आप सब की ओर से हृदय से स्वागत करता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं। भाइयों बहनों, आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में काशी ने देश और दुनिया के सामने अपनी जो नई पहचान बनाई है, इस नई काशी जो अपनी आध्यात्मिक और सांस्कृतिक विरासत को संरक्षित करते हुए विकास की नित नई ऊंचाइयों को छू रहा है, वह नई काशी आज स्मार्ट काशी के रूप में प्रदेश, देश और दुनिया के लिए एक मॉडल बनी हुई है। प्रधानमंत्री जी के विजन, उनका निरंतर मार्गदर्शन, उनकी प्रेरणा आज काशी वासियों को, प्रदेशवासियों को और देशवासियों को एक नई ऊंचाइयों की ओर अग्रसर कर रहा है। विगत 16 महीनों से पूरा देश और पूरी दुनिया कोरोना महामारी से त्रस्त है। इस महामारी के इस पूरे कालखंड के दौरान पूरे देशवासियों को, पूरे प्रदेशवासियों को जो योग्य मार्गदर्शन और नेतृत्व आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का मिला, दुनिया के तमाम देशों में न केवल उसकी सराहना हुई बल्कि लोगों ने उसे आत्मसात भी किया। अपनी तमाम व्यस्तता के बावजूद महामारी के इस कालखंड में काशी वासियों के साथ निरंतर संवाद, काशी की निरंतर चिंता और काशी के विकास के इन सभी कार्यक्रमों को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए निरंतर प्रेरणा और मार्गदर्शन आज एक बार फिर आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी काशी की लगभग 1500 करोड़ रुपए की परियोजनाओं के लोकार्पण और शिलान्यास के लिए हमारे बीच में बाबा विश्वनाथ की इस पावन नगरी में, देश की इस सांस्कृतिक राजधानी में अपना मार्गदर्शन और प्रेरणा प्रदान करने के लिए हम सबके बीच में उपस्थित हैं। मैं इस अवसर पर आप सबकी ओर से आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का हृदय से अभिनंदन करता हूं, स्वागत करता हूं। पिछले 7 वर्षों के दौरान काशी में 10,300 करोड़ रुपए की परियोजनाएं पूरी हुई हैं और लगभग 10,284 करोड़ रुपए की योजनाएं वर्तमान में गतिमान हैं। काशी जिन बातों के लिए तरसता था, आज काशी अपने एक नए रूप में देश और दुनिया के लिए एक नई प्रेरणा बन रही है। स्वास्थ्य का हो, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का हो, शिक्षा, पेयजल, हर एक क्षेत्र से जुड़ी हुई इन परियोजनाओं का लोकार्पण और शिलान्यास का कार्यक्रम आज आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की प्रेरणा से, उनके कर कमलों से यहां पर संपन्न होने जा रहा है। अपनी तमाम राष्ट्रीय और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय व्यस्तताओं के बावजूद आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने एक संवेदनशील जनप्रतिनिधि के रूप में, देश के यशस्वी प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में अपना समय अपने संसदीय क्षेत्र के लिए निकाला और समय समय पर अपना मार्गदर्शन भी देते हैं। मैं इसके लिए हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करते हुए काशी वासियों की ओर से, प्रदेशवासियों की ओर से आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का आज के इस लोकार्पण और शिलान्यास कार्यक्रम के अवसर पर हृदय से स्वागत और अभिनंदन करता हूं। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath there, expressing his thanks to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, stating that despite a busy schedule, he has ensured that the people of Kashi, Varanasi, Banaras, different names of course for the same city there, are being acknowledged, are remembered. And then what a bonanza that's coming in, 1,500 crore rupees, that is basically bifurcated into different projects. The location he is present right now, and you can see hundreds of people also who have gathered there. It is basically a maternity and a child health unit that is being inaugurated at the Banaras Hindu University's Institute of Medical Sciences. There's also going to be inaugurations of a multi-level parking. Remember the narrow by-lanes of Varanasi. The Ro-Ro vessels in the Ganga River, a push for religious and cultural tourism. There's a 3-lane flyover on the Varanasi-Ghazipur highway. This is just one section. That is the 744 crore group that has been set up for one. Then there is about 839 crore rupees bonanza that's going to come in for skill development, projects of the Jal Jeevan Mission. There's going to be a Center for Skill and Technical Support of the Central Institute of Petrochemical Engineering and Technology. There's also a mango and vegetable integrated pack house that's going to be set up. So 2 different projects. That's the inauguration taking place via remote controlled, of course. The curtains down for different projects that are being inaugurated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So it appears that the foundation stone ceremony is being done in this manner, different projects being inaugurated by the Prime Minister amid an applause there from the people at the Banaras Hindu University.
जाएंगे और वहां विधिवत उसका शुभारंभ करेंगे। बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी। इन समस्त योजनाओं से
So the inauguration ceremony taking place there, and Palomi Saha is where the highlight of this itinerary would be. It is the Rudraksha Convention Center. Palomi, so at least the first step of the day is now over, and he'll be very soon heading to your location as well. Tell us more about the convention center and the manner in which that it is, of course, being set up in Banaras, but it has Japanese architecture, Japanese design, but will be used to push religious and cultural tourism of the town of Kashi. So it appears that there are different aspects that will be included for it, but what will be the use of the convention center there in Kashi? Over to you.
Well, the Rudraksha Convention Center is going to be a cultural hub of sorts as far as Varanasi is concerned. You can have various programs over here. You can have international conferences, music concerts, exhibitions, various such cultural events can be held at this convention center, which is a huge capacity. It is 2-storied. It has a seating capacity of 1,200, and like you said, it has been built with Japanese assistance. So there is going to be a touch of Japanese architecture or design that you'll definitely see inside this convention center. Of course, we arrived here much later in the day when obviously it had become off limits, so we've not been able to see the inside of it as of yet. But what we've heard from those who have been inside, who are in the know of things as to what this convention center looks like, they tell us that it is intended to boost the tourism aspect of Varanasi as well. While Varanasi has been seen as a pilgrimage hub for those coming from within India itself and some international tourists as well, the idea is to turn this also into a hub which can have international programs and conferences as well, which is why Prime Minister Narendra Modi had chosen to give former Prime Minister of Japan Shinzo Abe a tour of this city and its wealth and its rich heritage when he brought him to Varanasi in December 2015, which then eventually became the foundation for this center itself, which will be inaugurated in a short while from now by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. It is going to be seen as a hub of Indo-Japan cultural amity as well. So this is going to be very interesting in the way that this convention center has been built. It has massive parking space as well. It has several different entrances, and the idea is to, of course, like I said, have international conferences over here, have programs. So if you are in India and you're looking for a hub where you can host a massive international conference or a program, you do not have to sort of narrow your choices down to just the cities of or the metros like Delhi or a Mumbai or a Chennai or a Bangalore. You can look at tier 2 cities like Varanasi as well, which have a lot to offer in terms of the rich cultural heritage, the Indian heritage that they bring with them. So the backdrop can be of India's heritage and India's culture while you hold a massive international conference, and that is the intent with, in fact, building this convention center here in Varanasi, Pooja.
That's definitely going to be a big boost for the people of Kashi. The manner in which if interactions of an international scale can be organized, if they are planning to promote Varanasi into an international hub, this could perhaps be the biggest attraction for that. And in fact, I was just researching, Palomi, and realized that the Rudraksh-like beads that you were showing us on the roof are about 108 in number. And that is also considered to be an auspicious number for the Rudraksh Mala. So therefore, a lot of specific design, the manner in which it has been put forth in the architecture has been thought of, and that also shows that they are taking all sort of symbolism, and as you're telling us, to promote the holy town as much as possible. But also, Paulomi, tell us about the COVID protocol, because let's not forget that the pandemic is on. Prime Minister himself has given a statement of a word of caution. Do you see around you COVID protocols being followed, being put in place by the administration? Because supporters will want to throng and meet and at least catch a glimpse of Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Varanasi.
Well, as far as COVID protocols are concerned, obviously this is a very sanitized area, Pooja. So if I do show, around this area, you will see that it is something which is completely off limits right now for the people of Varanasi. Much of it has been cleared out. Vehicles have been cleared out over here as well. And there is, very tightened security which is present in this area. But as far as COVID protocols are concerned, while of course we see people wearing their masks and being cautious at the moment, otherwise, obviously, with such events, it is very difficult to maintain social distancing. Of course, inside the convention center, you can be assured that it will be followed, because it has a limited number of guests who will be present over here when the convention center is inaugurated by the Prime Minister. But we are expecting capacity crowd at the BHU.
I'll just interrupt you there. Amid the applause and cheer, Prime Minister on the dais and is just about to start speaking.